What happens if you pour your leftover coffee grounds straight into your camellia's soil? Most gardeners either swear by this trick or warn you it'll destroy your plant overnight, and honestly, both sides have a point. There's a right way to do this that can wake up a dull, slow-growing camellia and push it into a season of glossy leaves and heavy blooms. But there's also a wrong way that can quietly choke the roots and stop flowering completely. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which side you're going to be on. Before we dig in, if you're someone who actually wants your plants to thrive instead of just survive, hit that subscribe button right now. I share practical, no-nonsense growing tips like this every single week, and you don't want to miss the next one. Let's talk about what's actually sitting in that little pile of used coffee grounds, because this isn't just brown stuff you throw away. Used coffee grounds are a genuinely rich mix of organic compounds, and once you understand what's in there, the whole camellia connection is going to make a lot of sense. First up, nitrogen. Coffee grounds are surprisingly high in nitrogen, generally sitting somewhere around 2% by weight once they're spent. That nitrogen is mostly locked up in organic form, proteins and other compounds left behind from the coffee bean itself. This is important because it means the nitrogen isn't immediately available the moment you sprinkle it on the soil. Soil microbes have to break it down first, converting it into the forms plants can actually absorb, like nitrate and ammonium. This slow-release nature is actually a huge part of why coffee grounds behave so differently from a synthetic fertilizer. Next, we've got potassium. Coffee grounds contain a meaningful amount of potassium, an element that plants use for practically everything: water regulation inside cells, enzyme activation, and overall stress resistance. Potassium is one of those quiet workhorse nutrients. You don't always see it working, but you definitely notice when it's missing. Then there's phosphorus, present in smaller amounts, which plants use for root development and energy transfer inside the cell. It's not the star of the show here, but it plays a supporting role. Coffee grounds also contain trace amounts of magnesium, calcium, and copper, micronutrients that plants need in small doses but can't function properly without. Magnesium, for instance, sits at the center of the chlorophyll molecule, meaning it's directly tied to how green and vibrant those camellia leaves look. Here's the part most people miss. Though coffee grounds are mildly acidic, freshly brewed grounds that have already released most of their acidity through the brewing process land somewhere close to neutral, to slightly acidic. Generally in the pH range of about 6 to 6.8. That's a much smaller acidity than people assume. The caffeic acids are mostly washed out during brewing. But there's still enough residual acidity combined with the organic breakdown process itself to have a gentle acidifying effect on soil over time. Coffee grounds also contain natural compounds that improve soil structure. As they decompose, they add organic matter, which improves water retention and encourages beneficial microbial activity. This microbial boost is a big deal. A more active soil food web means nutrients cycle faster and root systems can access what they need more efficiently. So to summarize what's inside that used coffee grounds pile: slow-release nitrogen, moderate potassium, some phosphorus, useful trace minerals, mild acidity, and organic matter that feeds soil life. Now let's line that up against what a camellia actually craves. Camellias are not fussy plants, but they are specific plants, and understanding what they want is the key to using coffee grounds correctly instead of accidentally working against nature. The single biggest thing to know about camellias is that they are acid-loving plants. They evolved in the understory of forests with naturally acidic, humus-rich soil, and they perform best in a soil pH range of roughly 5.5 to 6.5. When soil pH drifts too far into alkaline territory, camellias struggle to absorb iron and other micronutrients, even if those nutrients are technically present in the soil. This is called nutrient lockout, and it's one of the most common reasons a camellia's leaves start turning pale or yellow between the veins, a condition known as chlorosis. This is exactly where coffee grounds start to shine. Remember that mild acidifying effect we just talked about? Applied consistently over time, it nudges soil pH in the direction camellias actually prefer, especially in gardens where the native soil leans neutral to slightly alkaline. It's not a dramatic overnight shift. Think of it as a gentle steering rather than a hard turn. But for a plant, this pH-sensitive, gentle, and consistent is exactly what you want. Next, nitrogen. Camellias need nitrogen primarily to support healthy leaf and stem growth, especially during their active growing season in spring and early summer. But here's the catch. Camellias are sensitive to nitrogen that comes on too fast or too strong. A rapid nitrogen spike from synthetic fertilizer can push the plant into producing lots of soft leafy growth at the expense of flower bud development, and that soft growth is also more vulnerable to pest and disease pressure. This is precisely why the slow-release nitrogen in coffee grounds is such a natural fit. Because soil microbes have to break it down gradually, the plant receives a steady, moderate feed rather than a jolt, supporting healthy foliage without sacrificing next season's blooms. Potassium is the next major piece of the puzzle. Camellias rely on potassium for strong cell structure, better drought tolerance, and, critically, for flower bud formation and bloom quality. A camellia low in potassium often produces fewer, smaller, or weaker blooms, even if everything else about its care is right. Since coffee grounds carry a reasonable potassium load, this directly supports the very thing most camellia growers actually care about: better flowering. Camellias also benefit enormously from organic matter in their root zone. In the wild, they grow in soil covered by decomposing leaf litter, which keeps roots cool, moist, and surrounded by an active, beneficial microbial community. The organic matter from coffee grounds mimics this natural leaf litter environment, feeding soil microbes that in turn make nutrients more available to the plant's fine feeder roots. So when you connect the dots, a camellia wants acidic soil, slow, steady nitrogen, decent potassium for blooming, and organic matter to feed its root environment, and coffee grounds check every one of those boxes. That's not a coincidence gardeners stumbled onto by accident. It's genuinely a well-matched pairing when used the right way. Used correctly, coffee grounds can genuinely transform a struggling camellia. You can see deeper green foliage as chlorophyll production improves, more consistent flowering thanks to better potassium availability, improved soil structure that holds moisture more evenly, and a livelier population of beneficial soil microbes working in the plant's favor. Many growers who switch to a regular light coffee ground routine report their camellias pushing out noticeably glossier leaves and holding on to more flower buds through the season instead of dropping them. But, and this is the part nobody wants to hear, coffee grounds are also one of the most commonly misused garden amendments out there, and misusing them can genuinely hurt your plant. Here's the risk. If you dump a thick, undiluted layer of coffee grounds directly onto the soil surface, it can compact into a dense, water-repellent crust. Instead of helping moisture reach the roots, that crust actually blocks water and air from penetrating the soil, essentially suffocating the fine feeder roots that camellias depend on. You'll see the opposite of what you wanted: wilting, poor growth, and stressed foliage. There's also a nitrogen trap. As soil microbes break down large amounts of fresh, undiluted grounds, they temporarily consume nitrogen from the surrounding soil to fuel their own activity, a process called nitrogen immobilization. That means instead of feeding your camellia, a heavy application can briefly starve it of available nitrogen, causing pale, weak new growth right when you expected the opposite result. And overdoing the acidity matters too. While camellias love acidic soil, pushing pH too low too fast, especially in already acidic soils, can lock out other nutrients like calcium and magnesium, creating a whole new set of deficiency symptoms. The lesson here is simple. Coffee grounds are powerful, but they are not a more is better amendment. Respect the dose, and this becomes one of the best free tools in your camellia care routine. Ignore it, and you can genuinely set your plant back a full season. Let's get into exactly how to do this properly, step by step. Step 1. Dry your coffee grounds first. Spread your used grounds out on a tray or baking sheet and let them air dry for a day or two before use. Wet, clumped grounds are far more likely to compact and form that problematic crust we just talked about. Step 2. Never apply thick layers directly on top of the soil. This is the single most important rule. Instead, you want to either mix the dried grounds into your compost pile first, Or apply them as a very thin layer, no more than about a 1/4 inch, mixed lightly into the top inch of soil around the root zone. Step 3. Measure your dose. For an established camellia, roughly 1/2 cup to 1 cup of dried, used coffee grounds is plenty for one application. For younger or container-grown camellias, cut that down to 2 to 3 tablespoons. Remember, we're aiming for a steady trickle of nutrients, not a dump. Step 4. Apply in the right zone. Sprinkle the grounds in a ring around the drip line of the plant. That's the area beneath the outer edge of the foliage canopy, where the active feeder roots are concentrated rather than piling them against the main stem or trunk. Step 5. Work it in gently. Using a hand rake or your fingers, lightly work the grounds into the top layer of soil or mulch. This helps them integrate with soil microbes faster and prevents surface crusting. Step 6. Water it in thoroughly. After applying, give the area a deep, slow watering. This helps distribute the nutrients downward toward the root zone and kickstarts the microbial breakdown process. Step 7. Consider a compost blend for best results. If you really want to level this up, mix your dried coffee grounds into your regular compost at a ratio of no more than 10 to 20% coffee grounds to the rest of your compost materials. Then apply that blended compost as a top dressing instead of using raw grounds. This gives you all the benefits with almost none of the risk, because the composting process pre-breaks down the material and buffers the acidity naturally. Tools you'll need are minimal: a tray for drying, a measuring cup, a hand rake or cultivator, and a watering can or hose with a gentle flow setting. Timing is where a lot of well-meaning camellia growers go wrong, so let's get this exactly right. First, when not to use coffee grounds, avoid applying them during the plant's dormant winter period, when root activity slows down dramatically and the plant simply isn't in a position to use the nutrients efficiently. At that point, you're just letting them sit in the soil, increasing the risk of that nitrogen immobilization issue we discussed earlier. Also, avoid applying right before or during a heavy bloom period, particularly once flower buds are fully formed and opening, since disturbing the root zone or introducing a nitrogen boost at this stage can actually cause bud drop instead of helping. And skip application during periods of drought stress or extreme heat. A stressed plant with a strained root system isn't well positioned to process new organic matter, and disturbing dry soil at this time can do more harm than good. Now, the ideal time. The best window is during the camellia's active growing season, which for most climates falls in mid to late spring through early summer, right after the previous bloom cycle has finished and before the plant sets next season's flower buds. This is when the plant is actively producing new roots and foliage, meaning it can actually put that steady nitrogen and potassium to use. A secondary good window is early autumn, after summer heat has passed but before the plant enters dormancy, which helps build up root zone organic matter heading into the cooler months. As for frequency, don't treat this as a weekly ritual. Once every 4 to 6 weeks during the active growing season is plenty. Camellias are slow, deliberate feeders, and constant reapplication doesn't speed up results. It just increases your risk of nitrogen immobilization or over-acidification. 2 to 3 light applications total across the growing season is a realistic, safe target for most home gardeners. So how long until you actually see something happening? Be patient here, because camellias are not fast movers, and that's actually part of their charm. In the first 1 to 2 weeks, you likely won't see much above the soil at all, but underground, soil microbes are already breaking down the organic matter and beginning to release nitrogen and potassium in forms the roots can use. By around the 3 to 4 week mark, you'll typically start noticing subtle changes. New leaves emerging with a slightly deeper, glossier green compared to older foliage, and an overall sense that the plant looks more alive and less dull. Around the 6 to 8 week point, if you've stuck with the routine, you should start seeing sturdier new growth, better leaf density, and, if you've timed it right for the growing season, the beginning signs of stronger flower bud formation for the next bloom cycle. By the time you reach a full growing season, roughly 3 to 4 months of consistent, correctly timed applications, many growers report a visibly transformed plant, darker, glossier foliage across the board, a fuller, denser canopy, and a noticeably heavier, more vibrant bloom the following flowering season. It's a slow build, not an overnight fix, but that's exactly why it works so well long term. And that's the real story behind coffee grounds and camellias. Not a myth, not a miracle, just simple plant chemistry used the right way, at the right dose, at the right time. Get the timing and quantity right, and you're giving your camellia exactly what it's been asking for all along. Get it wrong, and you'll learn the hard way why more isn't always better in the garden. If this video helped you understand your plants just a little bit better, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, tap the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy growing!